human development, human progress, human salvation, and human achievement. Only human. That's anthropocentrism. The second one is practical relativism. Actually, these four are going to be the obstacles on our way to achieve the golden age of humanity, to make all humans equal. Also, fraternity. That is our goal to achieve. So, on the way, we encounter these four obstacles to achieve fraternal unity or solidarity or social friendship. The third one is, what is that? The fourth one is, technology. Okay, individualism. So these are the four. Actually, they're all related in human ecology. I would say it is negative. This is the dark side of human ecology. So these are the obstacles we face. Yeah. See this quote, the particular quote here, I just put it for you. Pope Francis is writing about certain areas of people who consider themselves more important than others. It may be politics, or it may be religion, or even family, patriarchal families, and so on. Actually, this is the first paragraph I was quoting to the bishops in Telangana and Andhra province conference, bishops conference last year in Hyderabad. This is the one I read for them. This is anthropocentric and also practical relativism. They think that they are important. And Pope Francis is writing, he can't be more cruel than this. This is a cruel writing, I tell you, cruel. Just watch it. But we should be particularly indignant at the enormous inequalities in our midst, whereby we continue to tolerate some considering themselves more worthy than others. We fail to see that some are mired in desperate and degrading poverty with no way out, while others have not the faintest idea of what to do with their possessions, vainly showing off their supposed superiority and leaving behind them so much waste, which, if it were the case everywhere, would destroy the planet. In practice, we continue to tolerate that some consider themselves more human than others, as if they have been born with greater rights. Papa, this is really a big bomb for all of us. This is also for us directly, because we hold positions, everybody, and we consider ourselves sometimes we are more worthy than others and more human than others. Very cruel, but yet that is a fact. It is a harsh reality we have to face. Only Pope Francis can do that, not others. Others, Pope Benedict would have thought this must have been offense. The Christian virtue, we don't offend anybody. Other popes, but good for Francis. It is all for all of us, especially carb. They think that they are more worthy than others. That's why they went on individual planes, you know. You know, those emissions, carbon emissions, coming out of the airplane tailpipes, that adds to the parts per million of carbon dioxide to the global warming. Yes, at least 0.001%, the emissions, yes, CO2. The meeting what they are holding in Glasgow, it will take at least 3 months to mitigate the emissions. It takes about millions of trees to sequester the carbon emitted. Yes, yes. What about water? What about the towels? What about the paper? Air conditioning? Electricity? The hotels, huge hotels. Can't believe. And China did not make it. Zinken didn't come. China is the largest polluter in the world. Number 1. United States number 3, India number 3. United States number 2, India 3. Russia 4, Putin didn't come. This is a failure of the nations. Yeah. Thank Joe Biden pointed out, you made a mistake. He did. He told right to the public, where is Zinken? He should have attended. He made a mistake. So to Putin. Can you imagine? The whole world is looking forward for this COP26. Something could be done, the last chance. Can you imagine this? Jinping, Chinese, never cared about it. Indian Prime Minister, good. It looks Narendra Modi is convening the whole meeting. He's running around, joking with the people, and putting hands on, what is that, Johnson, the British Prime Minister, even Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of United Nations. Modi treats him like a LKG student, putting arms and dragging him out. Modi is the superstar in this meeting. Completely is running as if he arranged the meeting in Glasgow. Yeah, that is the scene he is showing, no? He arranged the meeting and he brought everybody and he is the convener. Yeah. That is good for Modi. India, maybe Indian media is just showing Modi, I think. I was watching Indian media. Maybe I am wrong. I should have looked for resources in a better place. I look for the resources in India, so this is what I get. I should have looked BBC. They would have given you the real stuff. I made a mistake. Oh my God, I wasted my time now with you. All right. Let us take our meeting a little forward. Okay. We are discussing about human beings. What it means to be human. In other words, are we really human? After this talk, you will be confused more. Am I a human? Very basically, I am going to confuse you. So we are told we are imago Dei. That is a biblical classification of humans. Alright? The same Bible puts it in 2:7. You are the soil being. That is a forgotten classification. Nobody talks about it. The books are written only imago Dei. Imago Mundi, nobody writes. The third one is brood of vipers. Matthew 23:33. That is Jesus' classification. The last one is Homo sapiens, Carol Linnaeus binomial classification. So these are the four which to believe. That is the point. Which to believe? Bible, scientists, Jesus, whom to believe? Very difficult. So you know Imago Mundi, Genesis 26, 28, all talk about image of God. You know it very well, okay? At the same time, we continue to read that we are also dust beings. See there? Then the Lord God formed a man from the dust. Very important. Of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became living being. You can move on. Yesterday I gave you some homework. I hope some of you read it. He is the brilliant theologian, star theologian I would call it. He writes about this reality of humans being made out of soil. So he writes as follows: it is important for the way the human being understands himself that he should not see himself initially as subject over or against nature and theologically as the image of God, but that he should first of all view himself as the product of nature, and theologically too as imago mundi. In Latin we are called imago Dei, the image of God. Okay? In Latin it's known as the imago mundi. That means you made out of soil. John Calvin puts it very blunt. He's a Protestant theologian, you know very well. So he talks about, and he writes very, very strongly against this notion of imago mundi. If God had formed us of the stuff, of the sun, of the stars, or if he created any other celestial matter out of which man could have been made, then we might have said that our beginning was honorable. We are made of mud. And this mud is not just on the hem of our gown or on the sole of our boots or in our shoes. We are full of it. We are nothing but mud and filth, both inside, outside. That would have shattered all your anthropocentric dream. Just now I bombed, not I bombed, Calvin bombed your imagination of high-level human beings. Bible also states the fragility of human being, but we never read this text. Why don't we? Let us give some attention here. Job, man who is born of woman is short-lived and full of turmoil. But man in his pomp will not endure. He is like the beast that perish. Psalm 49. As for man, his days are like grass. He flourishes like a flower of the field. The wind blows over it, it is gone. Psalm 103. Isaiah, stop regarding man whose breath of life is in his nostrils, for why should he be esteemed? Why should you glorify him anyway? So that is the question asked by Isaiah. These are some of the text I'm throwing. In another psalm, you must remember that, no? When you create a star, sun, planet, what is man? You read it very often. Yeah, that text is very common text. I didn't bring it here. But anyway, our saint, John Paul, We are mostly stupid. That's what he concludes. So stupidity is also a gift of God. Didn't I say this morning? Brambles or figs? That is the way God created. But one mustn't misuse it. So he recognizes saint. From the saint mind itself this quote comes. So then we discuss now a little bit about Homo sapiens. Who is he? Carol Linnaeus is referring. All-knowing man. Homo sapiens means all-knowing man. It seems we know everything. Everything we know. That is the third dimension. The first dimension, imago Dei, imago Mundi. Second dimension, the third dimension, Homo sapiens now. So, but this Homo sapiens now have created 4 obstacles here. See there? Anthropocentrism, Laudato Si. I have given you text, you can read later on. Those texts are very important to understand what is anthropocentrism is all about. Pope not only says anthropocentric, he says excessive anthropocentric today. Some people are important, men are important, women are inferior. Some countries, people are worth more. Some people, like Africa, they are less significant, that kind of classification. And I am a bishop. I need a air-conditioned car. And I need a driver, I need a personal secretary, this kind of thing, anthropocentric. What is practical relativism? Pope, in one place he writes, practical relativism is more dangerous than dogmatic relativism. Relativism means, I reject every objective statements from other religions and other philosophies. I create my own philosophy, my own theology. They say so many things. That is the practical relativism. So there are 8 billion practical relativism people here. So how can you convince? 8 billion people. Everybody thinks. See, in retreat, we say so many things, and then some of us, even I did the same thing. Then also, their work is to arrange a retreat for in a year. Our job is to go there, but I continue my own opinion. My opinion counts because I already studied moral theology. The injustice, statements which they don't carry justly, that I can reject. Because it is not morally bound anyway. Because my conscience tells that is not right. See, we drift into practical relativism. This is more dangerous. Laudato Si 122, 123. Actually, practical relativism, a man says, the objective truth is not possible. Only subjective truth is possible. What I think, that counts. What religions, what philosophy say, I don't care. So that is practical relativism. So today, it's rampant all over the world. Technology, I can't explain to you. You know it. Laudato Si, 106 to 114. The last one is individualism today. Morning we discussed a little bit. Fratelli G89, Pope writes, nowadays our noblest social instincts can easily be thwarted by self-centered chats. That is about technology, no? That give the impression of being deep relationship. You chat online, you text it. We think that we are relating with the genuine people. They have replaced our relationship of uncle, aunt, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, friends, superiors, sages. So everything has been replaced to this narrow classification of chat. So we think that we have an impression that we have a deep relationship we are practicing. So that is what Pope is writing here. About technology, I would say. This is about the practical relativism. Pope Benedict the 16th is writing. Look at Pope Benedict, how smart he looks, with all the beautiful looking mitre only he uses. I think Pope Francis rejected all that, no, when he became a Pope. So Pope Benedict is tip-top. He is very, very to the decorum. It is called decorum. We need to keep up our decorum. We can't make joke of it. We should keep up. That is necessary sometimes. And then after that thing is over, we should put it somewhere very safe. And we shouldn't take again and again and threaten people. We shouldn't do that. I know the Cardinal of Kuala Lumpur. I go very often to Kuala Lumpur diocese to also the country. The bishops are very much interested in Laudato Si, so I go every year. So the Cardinal, he died now, Soter Fernandez, his name. So very short name, only that much. So that Soter Fernandez, he was asked to come to Rome. He became a cardinal, no? He went there. And then they gave these dresses. So he put there and took the photograph. And then he left all the dresses. And he came with the shirt and the pant here. Everybody asked, where is the dress? Oh, I forgot. Syndrome. Such a very funny man, simple man. He died recently. Oh my God. When I give a seminar, he sits here in the front like LKG student. Then he listens, he writes. And then he'll be the first one to put hand down. Then he will ask them down. Priests all sit at the back, but Cardinal, Archbishop, all these people sit in the front and listen. Anyway, Pope Francis is telling absolutely there is no practical relativism in him. No anthropocentrism either. We are moving towards a dictatorship of relativism, which does not recognize anything as for certain and which has as its highest goal one's own ego and one's own desires. This is what is killing even the religious orders, even the dioceses and sisters. They don't believe anymore what it should be, what we think. Chapter, it is known as chapters. They interpret in their own way. The local theologians help them to think this is the way we should do. This is our trajectory. So they drift and deviate and they bend everything to their own self-interest. Fratelli tutti, individualism, the Pope writes. Individualism does not make us more free, more equal, more fraternal. Many people think, no, I need that, I need this. My lifestyle is like that because I am superior or principal or etc. I'm a parish priest or a rector, etc. The more sum of individual interest is not capable of generating a better world for the whole human family, nor can it save us from the many ills that are now increasingly globalized. Then Pope goes into much deeper. Radical individualism is a virus that is extremely difficult to eliminate, or it is clever. It makes us believe that everything consists in giving free rein to our own ambitions, as if by pursuing over ever greater ambitions and creating safety nets, we would somehow be serving the common good. It's an illusion. They create and they cater the individualism. In individualism or extreme radical individualism, you can't be universal fraternity. I mean, there is no solidarity, there is no social friendship, nothing. Everything is completely destroyed. Franklin Roosevelt puts it very nicely. Civilization is to survive. We must cultivate the science of human relationships. Human relationship is opposite to individualism. All right. The ability of all peoples, of all kinds, to live together in the same world at peace. Yeah. This is our certificate. If somebody asks, who are you? Immediately, so this is that. This is the Aadhaar card. For all the 8 billion people, this is the Aadhaar card. This Aadhaar card is beautiful. I mean, actually this Aadhaar card talks the reality. It denotes the reality of human being. You don't see anything like Imago Dei, nothing. You don't see all those stuff. It's very blunt. So this is how we should be able to see and grasp. But people don't know. So you please, one more time, look at it when you go to your rooms, and then. So this is how our journey was. Some 4 million years ago started. Then see the evolution, anthropological evolution, slowly coming. Now modern Homo sapiens. There are different stages. Everywhere humans encountered so many hurdles, obstacles, but still they progressed. Even today we are progressing. So this picture should give you some hope. After all, our journey is a long journey. I think we will keep it rolling. We are not going to stop it or end it. It is our ability to adaptation, yeah. This is the first one Dr. Louis Leakey illustrates. First species, one who stood on 2 legs, yeah, straight up, walking, yeah. Australopithecus afarensis. Australo means south, Pithecus means ape. Afarensis, afar region of Ethiopia. That is a place they found this fossil. That she is known as Lucy, that small woman, only 3.5 feet or 4 feet long. So that is the species which stood first erect, began to walk. So that is our ancestor fossil, Australopithecus afarensis. And then came Boisei. This is another, the second in evolution. The third comes Homo habilis, that is 1.8 million years. That is the, habilis means handyman. That means the invention of tools. First, the stone and the fire, those tools. This is the man who invented the birth of technology. Let us put it that way. See, after technology, immediately see technology for what purpose humans put it. See, to break the bone and to kill. So far, human species was vegetarian. The birth of technology, the invention of stone tools, started the massacre of animals. Slowly they killed animals, tasted blood, then not only blood, also marrow in the bone. They found even the sharp stone tools which can break the bone and scoop it outside the marrow inside the bone. So that is how technology was being used at the beginning. So today we use technology for our abuse purposes. It is not strange. It started in the same way. We are rolling it in the same way. Yeah. Any technology comes, we will be using it for some exploitation, there is no doubt. This is the man who came out of Africa first time. is known as Homo erectus. So all the people, all the descendants, human descendants, our common ancestor is Homo erectus. A man who came out of Africa sometime 1.5 million years. From him, the whole earth was populated. So the anthropologist, so from Homo erectus, whole earth was populated. So anthropologists divide them into 5 races, no? Caucasians, Negroids, Amerindians, Polynesians, Mongols, based on structure and the traits, DNA. So these are the 5. They are not castes. They are not castes. They are races. Races are divided on genetic variation. You know, crow, to take a crow, there are 40-50 species of crows. But common name is crow. So genetic variation. In every species, there is genetic variation. It is not something to discriminate, no. It is something to see the beauty of the species, how beautifully it has diversified. So that is the beauty. So that's why 5 races. Where are we? Anybody know? Indians. Where are we there? Are we Caucasians, Negroids, Amerindians, Polynesians, Mongols? We are Caucasians actually. Caucasians, Americans, Europeans, all Caucasians. We look exactly like Americans and Europeans except for the color. Color is, they are white and we are brown. So we are Caucasians. Negroids is black people, Africa. Amerindians is American, the long hair, native people, Americans. The Polynesians is from islands of Polynesia, Fiji, all those areas, big, New Zealand, Maori people, 6.5, 7 feet tall. Those are the Polynesians, Easter Island, and Mongols, that is our Zinpin. Zinpin and his community is known as the Mongols, the Chinese people, yeah, these are the 5 races. Then Homo habilis, after Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, 200,000 years ago, Homo sapiens was born. So that is the anthropological evolution. It's nice to know where we come from, how our species evolved over this. Nice to have some integrated information. So Jesus' classification is you brood of vipers. I told you in the morning that Jesus goes to 65 million years when the dinosaurs went extinct. Then mammal species came into existence. So that's why he called you brood of vipers, because our lineage diverted from reptiles known as snakes. So you brood of vipers. And scientists say the immediate evolution. Jesus puts remote evolution. Scientists say we came from monkeys. That is immediate evolution, 20 million. The other one is remote, 65 million years. See, today the neurologists classify our brain into 3 sections, no? Reptilian, see the reptilian brain? That is the reminiscence of our reptilian history. When we were reptiles, it is written in our brain. When we were reptiles, we were having that brain. So when we became mammals, the limbic, the second layer. Now the new cortex here in the front, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. This is called neocortex. This appeared only 200,000 years ago. Yeah. The brain started to grow when Homo habilis invented tools. Before that, only 500 grams our brain. Only in 1.5 million years, our brain began to grow into 1 kilogram because of meat consumption, because of protein. So they added more protein, so brain also became larger. 1 kilo. Now 1 kilo and 250 gram we have in our skull there. So there is 3 parts. So even if you don't know, it is written in your biology. It is inside your head. That's why we always hint our reptilian history. உடம்பெல்லாம் விஷம் தான் we say, no? Body full of venom தான். Full of விஷம் தின்னி. எப்படி பாம்பு மாதிரி போறாங்க. We always hint our past with the comical words, no? And எங்க முட்டை விட்டுனந்த snakes lay eggs, no? முட்டை தான் வாங்கியிருக்கு ரவுண்டு, முட்டை தான். Some reptilian, when we wear snakes, we subconsciously refer to that. அதை விட தமாஷதுன்னா வாழை வெட்டிடுவேன், சுருட்டி வைங்க, சுருட்டி கை கால் வால் உள்ளவே reptilian. அதை விட தமாஷ் தோலை உரிச்சு போடுவேன். Because snakes mold, no? So once upon a time we were molting. So thola uchu puduvana. It is not something just for the sake of saying, no. It is that something in your biology makes you to recall the past with nostalgic here. So that is what we do. And see, why do you put holes in the earth's exterior we call mines? Why do you go deep inside the earth? Because we were living in the burrows once upon a time. Burrowing, no? Snakes burrowing. So that's why we go very often mining. We will never change, no? Skip Large, one of the anthropologists, he identifies 5 traits that we inherited from the reptiles. This is obsessive, exploitive behavior. Turtle is also a reptile. So, in which he goes from this ocean to that ocean for exploitation, no, for food harvesting. He goes from Pacific to Atlantic to Arctic to South Pacific. He travels all over the world, then comes to Mahabalipuram and lays few eggs, and again he starts the journey. So this is an obsessive, exploitive behavior. We also do that, the use of water. Some people, I have to use it, I have to buy it, I have to do this. Okay, this are all things we learn from reptiles. The second was rituals and superstitions. That also a trait from iguanas. You know iguanas? Wana. You do exercise in the morning, up and down, basking. So that is the rituals we inherited, like this. And also Monday idli, Tuesday upma, Thursday puri. All those rituals and superstitions. You know what is superstitions? All come from reptilians. The aggressive and violence, Komodo dragon in Thailand, if you go, the big dragon walking there, no? Aggressive. So that kind of aggressive and violence are innate in human being. Didn't I say morning? The man is the most poisonous and dangerous animal in the world. Yeah, we inherited from this reptile. Poison, snake, we make still poison. That's why we say, at least snake makes only in a small pouch. Here, 50 ml venom, the snake makes it, and he keeps it there for the food purpose or for defense purpose and so on. But we produce not 50 ml. Then we began to produce more than 10 liters. Where can you store? You store the whole body. 1 liter of venom you store in the skull always. This can strike only 3 feet or 10 feet at the most. With this venom, you can strike even a person in Rome or in America. From America, you can strike Afghanistan. So this is the venom. And venom never gets depleted. You should know that. It is secure. So that is how, this is a chatti where we keep the venom. This is the most dangerous morning I told you. Hierarchy, racism, territoriality. This doesn't exist in natural world. Only in human species we have this hierarchy. Otherwise you see in crocodiles. You know crocodiles, if you go to a crocodile farm, they separate the crocodiles and keep, okay, 10 years you are there. You are the kind of a president or a pope, separate. And then cardinals come. Again slowly come priests, like that. And then at last seminarians. It's a small thing. They put in a different cave. If you keep in the same cave, the big one will leave the seminarians. Finished. So that is how this hierarchy, racism, territoriality, they are very, very defensive about their territory and their own status, everything. So that is also we inherited from reptiles called crocodiles. Human nature is evil, puts it Zone 1, and goodness is caused by intentional activity. By nature, if you leave the nature, we will be doing damage unless mindfulness is revoked. Then only you can have a good intentional activity. That is a strong statement. Pope St. John Paul II puts it exactly the same. Instead of doing what we are supposed to do, we are doing something else. That's what he writes. It comes from the saint. Instead of carrying out his role as a cooperator with God in the work of creation, man sets himself up in place of God and thus ends up provoking a rebellion on the part of nature, which is more tyrannized than governed by him. But that doesn't mean that we are very bad people. No, we are wonderful. Yeah, humans are beautiful creatures, there is no doubt. Of course, it's hidden so far. Let us not say it is hidden, it is not flowered yet. Yeah. That is the way we should. This is practical relativism statement I am making. It is not flowered yet. We have to wait. All these are true. That is a creator's two-word image, new person, heavenly person, royal person, imago Dei, everything. Achieving not through economy or technology, but human ecology. Didn't I say in the morning about it? Not politics, not technology, not economy, but human ecology. So that is the great potentiality is here in the human being. Pope Leo the Great puts it, wake up man and recognize the high estate of your human nature. Remember, you are made in God's image. Manu Sastra in India puts it beautifully, you are more than you think you are. Meister Eckhart, though we are God's sons and daughters, we do not realize it yet. This is the, nature mystic. In last group, I forgot to tell you, even forgot to tell them, one of the group, they brought the creation mystics into their prayer during the adoration. Yeah, Julian of Norwich, Metztild Magdeburg, and St. Hildegard the Bingen, those three women. They are known as the nature mystics. The fourth one is Meister Eckhart. He is man, those three are women. So Pope Benedict used to write about them very often. Those women, a special people. So your brothers brought it. I was shocked to hear, oh my God, this is much deeper. I can't get better than that. Irenaeus writes, he is the Greek father, creation is gradually maturing. I told you in the morning, as a species, we are in toddler years. We are learning to walk. That is the stage we are in. So that's what he writes. God takes on human form to redeem a sinful humanity and to bring a final, complete renewal to all of creation. From the beginning, God has willed that all things will be brought to a full and final consummation. Humanity was created to grow and mature, much like a child grows into an adult. Wow. See the wisdom of the church fathers. Golden age we are waiting for. For plants, golden age is flower. For trees, seeds. For stone, diamond. Fish, blue whale. Reptiles, dinosaurs. Mammals, human. For human, imago Dei. That's a golden age. So, yet to come, Ralph Waldo Emerson, the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to having make some difference that you have lived and live well. Yeah. There are a number of astounding mutations that are happening right now. As we listen to this talk, your genes are changing, copying. Will man ever return to Imago Dei? Sure. Because the miracle called mutation, yeah, we can become, yes. Louis Leakey puts it very well. He says, man has created not milestones, but tombstones. That means so far, our history, we created tombstones, not milestones. So can you say something good, Leakey? He says, yeah, I can say something good. What is it? He could literally become God, but only doom now. Is there any hope, Leakey? Yeah, sure, he will become like God in 20 million years, he says. So, there is the possibility. Colossians 3, 5 to 10 talk about molding. Didn't I say Tola Urchipuduan? So, that is what we should do to grow to maturity. Tola Urikino. That is called molding. This snake I saw in my house one night time, then I took it and put it in my room as a souvenir. It came out of a snake in the moonlight. At last I took it. It's a painful process. I mean, I wish that I had the camera to film it. That's an amazing scene. It's a revelation for me. I kept this skin in my house for many years. My mother saw and she thought that I am out of my mind. She took it and put it in the fire. That's all. So Colossians 3, 5 to 10, we should mold. That is what St. Paul is telling. See the last statement? Strip off the old self with its practices and have clothed yourself with the new self. Molding. Thola Uringa, St. Paul also says. It's a great text here. See, what are the Thola, Uringa Thola? Fornication, impurity, passion, evil desire, greed, etc., etc. Take them out. Put on the new clothes, he says. What are they? Compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, etc., etc. Human ecology. All right. See human ecology? Even Tolkappia didn't point out that Manidam, the last. This is our ecosystem. Jesus points out, hey, Tolkappia, not only 5 lands, 5 ecosystems only you classify. There is one more. You forgot. What is it? Manidam. That is the ecosystem. Manidanum, Madanicham, Idamum. Yeah. Here, see, Matthew 13, 19. You read it. He says, the seed sown in the land, it is not in the land, it is sown in the human heart, in which man becomes a land. Why it becomes a land? Because God took the soil and He created man out of the soil. That makes him land. That's all. Ecosystem. Very reasonable argument from Jesus Christ. Tolkappia would have thanked him. Oh, thank you, Talaiva. Such a beautiful classification. I forgot. So there are 6 ecosystems. Trinidad we call it. So this is the human ecology, what you have. Read 148, 155 from Laudato Si. This is what you have, everything. The best is Aram. One word I teach you. Everybody knows it. Aram. There is no better word than that. It can be loosely translated as righteousness, justice, ethics, etc. But there is no other word for it. What is in Malayalam for righteousness? Any word you have in Malayalam? Aram. For righteousness.
Nidima.
Nidima. But Aram, anything related in Malayalam? Because Malayalam came from Tamil. So there should be a very similar word because it is a classical language. I think in Malayalam, if you go to original, you will find what is Aram. You should find that out. That will help me. That will help me. Aram. Aram. Aram means righteousness. You need 100 words to translate that Aram. You know, Jesus says, seek ye the kingdom of God and its righteousness. Tamil completely destroyed. இறை அரசையும் அதை சார்ந்தவைகளையும் தேடுங்கள், மற்றவையெல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு சேர்த்து கொடுக்கப்படும். அருமையான வார்த்தைக்கு ஏன் விட்டான்? இறை அரசையும் அதை சார்ந்த அறத்தையும் தேடுங்கள், மற்றவையெல்லாம் சேர்த்து உங்களுக்கு கொடுக்கப்படும். 1ஆம் கிளாஸ் பையன் கூட சொல்லுவான். Even the first standard boy will be screaming Aram. Biblical scholars goofed up. So that is human ecology. So this is what is the solution for the 21st century, solution to our problems. Not economy, no. Human ecology, yes. Humility, love, justice, ethics. The last word, Aram. One word, Aram. Laudato Si. You read afterwards, human ecology, yes. See there, sacrifice, generosity, sharing, giving. You can solve all the problems. So we can take different routes, I said this morning. You can call brothers, you can call servants, you can call friends, whatever you want. You take a different approaches to the community, but at last we arrive to universal fraternity. That is our goal, fratelli tutti. And Frank Code takes the friendly route. Human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness, Aram. People are just people, and all people have faults and shortcomings, fits or brambles, but all of us are born with the basic goodness. Yeah, goodness. That's good. That's a friendly approach or friendly route. I think in this regard we need amici tutti. One new encyclical Pope should write, not fratelli tutti, amici. Amici means friends. Yeah? Amici tutti, an encyclical on friendship we need it. I have called you friends. John 15:15. Their communication beyond limits, that is the call to friendship. Friends hold no secrets. Friends are equals, no discrimination. Friends can do anything for a friend. Absence of good friend can lead to many psychological problems. So we need one new encyclical, Amici Tutti. Archbishop Desmond Tutu takes brotherly route. God's dream is that you and I and all of us will realize that we are a family, that we are made for togetherness, for goodness, and for compassion. Martin Luther King Jr. takes the servant route. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. Water also takes solidarity route. A united civilization is possible only when human relations are balanced in all transactions, which have to do with the distribution of the values of life, which all men persistently and constantly seek. At last, altruistic root I was talking about, with all good stuff like empathy, compassion. So Jesus says, regarding altruistic root, go and do likewise. He recommends altruistic root. In other words, he challenges, that is the fratelli tutti, co-friends. In other words, he challenges us to put aside all differences and in the face of suffering to draw near to others with no questions asked. I should no longer say that I have neighbors to help, but that I must myself be a neighbor to others. So, are you a fig or a bramble? Only you have to decide. The world exists for everyone because all of us were born with the same dignity. Differences of color, religion, talent, place of birth or residence, so many others cannot be used to justify the privilege of some over the rights of all. As a community, we have an obligation to ensure that every person lives with dignity and has sufficient opportunities for his or her integral development. This is Pope Francis' root. Only when our economic and social system no longer produces even a single victim, a single person cast aside, will we be able to celebrate the feast of universal fraternity. All right, to conclude, human species is rooted in becoming. Be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Becoming. Unless you become children, you shall never enter the kingdom of God. Checklist for a fig or a bramble. Will you ever return to Imago Dei? Can you list some of your human ecology gifts? That's a nice thing. Take a piece of paper, front, the good human ecology, backside, be open to yourself. You write them down. And then at last you can burn it or you can print it in a newspaper. Yeah, whatever you want. So you just write it and destroy it, that's all. What kind of resources your diocese is having or your community? Maybe Montfort Brothers, they are the richest congregation, not because of the money you have, because of the human ecology, because of the gifts that the brothers are having. That makes you a different congregation altogether. It is not the wealth, it is not the education, it is the human ecology of the brothers who are loving, who are kind, who are generous, who are jovial. That is why your congregation is rich. How do you help your community to realize their human ecology? What kind of mutations you wish in the future that would aid humanity at ecology service? So what do you expect? So when you think that way, your genes are changing and that mutation can be realized. Unfortunately, ours is nothing will happen because we don't pass it through sex to the next generation. All those wonderful, fantastic mutations are lost to the planet forever and ever. Amen. We have got intelligent genes, but we are not passing them. Anyway, that is another retreat, we will make it, all right. Watch talk shows about human ecology on YouTube today. Learn about what is human ecology, because this is the latest subject being discussed in the top level. The last one is watch BBC documentaries on Genetics. How we came, what are we doing, where are we going from now forward. Wonderful, thank you so much. Sorry I took more time.